There are people sitting at your dinner table, texting you good morning, and calling themselves your friend, operating under an influence you cannot see. You know the feeling of a relationship that leaves you stuck, confused, or spiritually heavy. Most of us rationalize this as a personality clash. We assume some people are just naturally difficult to be around. The Bible suggests a different explanation. Jesus himself looked at one of his closest disciples and identified a demonic influence driving the man's words. These frustrating interactions often stem from a spiritual source rather than a human one. Identifying this influence requires spiritual discernment. This is a tool for clarity, intended to replace confusion with wisdom rather than feeling paranoia. Spiritual warfare thrives in the mundane. It takes the form of everyday friction and tension with the people you trust the most. The first sign appears as a consistent opposition to your God-given direction. Every time you move toward a new purpose, these individuals offer a list of logical-sounding reasons why it won't work. When Peter tried to talk Jesus out of his mission, he likely thought he was being helpful. Instead, Jesus recognized that Peter's words aligned with an agenda that stood against God's plan. The person may mean well, but their influence is working to stall your progress. The second sign is a subtle drift away from prayer and scripture. It starts as a series of small distractions that slowly erode your spiritual habits. This operates like the creeping lion described in 1 Peter. You find yourself suddenly too busy or too tired. You might notice that social hangouts or long conversations frequently happen on the exact nights you set aside for fasting or Bible study. If friendly advice and spontaneous plans consistently block your spiritual momentum, you are facing a coordinated effort to keep you distracted from God. The third sign moves the attack inward, planting seeds of doubt about your identity. This follows the enemy's oldest pattern, questioning what God has already spoken over your life. These individuals remind you of your past mistakes, specifically when you try to move forward. They weaponize your history to make you feel unworthy of the grace God is offering you. The fourth sign is the physical and emotional toll of the interaction. You leave the room feeling anxious, confused, or spiritually heavy. The Bible describes a peace that surpasses understanding. When an interaction produces the opposite effect, a lingering sense of exhaustion that lifts only after the person leaves, you are experiencing a spiritual clash. A relationship that disrupts your internal peace and targets your worth is bypassing your logic and attacking your spirit directly. The fifth sign is a specific behavioral pattern: silence during your success and energy during your failures. They get quiet when you win, that light up when you fall. Joseph's brothers demonstrated this same resentment. Despite being family, their hatred was so deep they couldn't speak a kind word to him. Demonic influence does not respect family ties or bloodlines. This quiet resentment indicates a spirit that hates what God is doing in your life. This behavior goes beyond simple jealousy. If these signs feel familiar, trust your discernment. Your spirit is recognizing a threat that your mind has tried to explain away. Ephesians 6:12 explains that our struggle is not against flesh and blood. The person is not the enemy. They are the vessel being used by a spirit to interfere with your calling. This understanding changes your response. You stop fighting with people and start protecting your purpose with firm boundaries and prayer. God saw every assignment against your life before you were born. You are already equipped to handle these relationships because He chose you knowing they would be there. Using spiritual discernment turns what used to be a source of fear into a clear map for your relationships. You gain the ability to see the sabotage and move past it. Decide today to walk in wisdom. Type "I will use discernment" in the comments and subscribe to Bible Money Code for scripture-based content that strengthens your faith.